Today's video is a special one because not only are we grabbing a great deal for these golf clubs, this is the first set of clubs that I ever bought.
American Golf was basically the discount store. Every pro shop had a thing for American Golf. They're like, oh great, American Golf, doing this price, X, Y, and Z. Guys, how you doing? Welcome back to a brand new video. Simon down here at Sandford Springs Golf Club, and we played a few holes. We played a few holes with the first ever set of irons that I bought brand new from American Golf. Went and got fitted, did the whole shebang. These clubs right here are exactly what I got fitted for. It's extremely windy down here at Sandford. Not that any of you in the UK would know, because you're all currently watching Tiger around Amen Corner. Don't worry, I will watch it when I get back home later. But I thought the course would be quiet, and I was correct. No one is here. So I'm going to throw you back to last night when I went and met Andy, who I bought these clubs off for a very good deal that I saw on Facebook. £30 for my old clubs. I can't believe this is the first time through this whole journey that I've actually come across the same make and model of irons that I bought all those years ago. 2008, near on 13 years ago when I started this game at the grand old age of 17. If you like this video, leave it a like. Subscribe if you are new. Let me show you what I got. Simon, down in Caution, about an hour away from my house, picking up the same set or the same brand, same model of irons that I started this game up playing with. I actually started playing the game when I was 17 years of age, and I remember it very well. I remember what kind of brands were out. It was the Ping Rapture, it was the R7, I think it was just around, must have been the 710s, around that era of AP2, AP1, something like that. And I'm very excited to go and pick up these R7 irons, as well as one of the woods, and I'm just going to go and meet Andy now. Just message him. I am a bit early, but it'd be a great little video to go down memory lane, pick up the clubs that I started playing this game with, see how chunky and forgiving they were. And it's a very similar story to a lot of you guys. I went down to American Golf, I tested pretty much all the brands that were there. The R7 came out the best in terms of I like the look of it, the feel of it, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, luckily my dad bought those clubs for me, and it's interesting that it's gone full circle. They were very expensive, but I'd like to think at this point, Dad, it was a good investment, and obviously worth going down that route as we are where we are now. But the bit I love about this video now is that I'm buying these clubs 15 years later for 30 odd pounds, even though at the time they were all singing, all dancing. They have these little ports in the back of them, which I'm going to show you in a second, and they were the state of the art, whereas now they look quite similar to all the other 15-year-old clubs that are out there on the market. Boys and girls clubs acquired. I haven't actually seen, now I think about it, and the amount of clubs that have been through my hands, because I would have made this video a long time ago, the amount of clubs that have been through my hands over the last 2 years, especially when it comes to second-hand stuff. I haven't had a set of these at all. I've had quite a few that are R7s, like these are the more, let's say, bladed version, but they're XD, i.e. R7 extra distance. I haven't actually seen, well, for near on 15 years, or well, I'm 30 now. I started playing game when I was 17, so these are 13 years old, and they're in great condition. First of all, thank you to Andy, watches the channel, recognised me, we had a good little chat, plays down at Bowood, fantastic course. The guy that designed Bowood actually designed Donington Grove, so there's so many links I have to Andy. The irons that obviously I started playing the game with, as well as the guy that designed the same course that I obviously started my professional career at, but they're in great nick, and I want to get these on the golf course. I'll obviously finish the video out there and give you my thoughts. Now I'm playing the same irons that I did when I started the game 13 years later. We also have a lovely little TP, well, this is pretty much a 3-wood, but it's a very strong lofted 12.5 degree monster, so that's obviously going to be off the tee, and we've got plenty of irons to play some golf with. So, and welcome back to Roadside Review, where we're in the trees at Sandford, so the wind doesn't mess with my audio as much. And I remember why I fell in love with these golf clubs back in the day. They look fantastic. I love the understatedness of them. I love the fact that they haven't got a lot going on about them. I was a very naive young golfer when I started this game, and I didn't want something flashy. And through this whole process of having these back in the bag, it's brought back all these memories of exactly what that fitting was like, that experience at American Golf. And I thought it was very good, to be honest. I came away exactly what I wanted. The clubs did very well. I played off 22 when I joined Donington Grove, and then started working in the shop there. And these got me all the way down to 12 when I then went to AP2s. Something a bit sleeker, something a bit more control based, but these did everything I wanted to, and these were the turning point for TaylorMade, especially what I saw anyway. This might not be factually correct, but I just know in the shop, margin for TaylorMade was better than any brand. Not necessarily anymore, but back in the day, they didn't have all the best players on their tour build. Do you know what I mean? Tiger was with Nike, a lot of other players were with bigger brands. I think Titleist, I would say, was the #1. Callaway, Ping were heavy up there, and TaylorMade subsequently around that 2008 period just went on a tear. They came out with all these things that we looked at as kids, teenagers, probably adults, and they've got like little ports in the back of these irons which I thought were amazing. And I don't know, let's be honest, just like we see with all technology, when they put these speed ports, speed slots, you name it, how much of it does it actually make a difference, and how much of it is just purely there for aesthetics? But I remember looking at these clubs and going, they are awesome. American Golf Club fitting story time. Let's talk about it, because these irons are bringing me flashbacks of what it was like when I started the game. I was like where a lot of you guys are at the moment. Your addiction for this game is high. You've found this sport, you love it, and you'll do everything to get better. And picking up these irons again just makes me realise exactly that feeling, which I've kind of lost. I'm kind of a grumpy old man nowadays. And I'll take you back to 2008. Launch monitors weren't a thing. I think American Golf was the only place in the UK you went for discount clubs, by the way. So there wasn't online golf or anything like that. American Golf was basically the discount store. Every pro shop had a thing for American Golf. They're like, oh, great, American Golf doing this price, X, Y, and Z. Whereas now every pro shop goes, online stores doing it for this price. And it's a constant battle when you work in a pro shop. By the time I went to American Golf, they had a launch monitor, which probably has less frames per second than your iPhone does now, or your Android. And the whole experience was good. I mean, I could have walked away with anything on the day and I'd been happy. Do you know what I mean? Because I was playing Grandad's clubs at the time. These just went an absolute mile. I was so inconsistent. It was unbelievable, but I could hit it a long way. So these essentially just ultra forgiving. But in hindsight, looking back at it, and he might have even asked me, but there's only 2 people in the world that knew that I wanted to turn pro of a handicap of 22, and that was my mum and dad. I fell in love with this game. I was playing 40-50 hours a week, and I started working at a golf club in the pro shop, and I wanted to get my handicap down to 4, but I didn't really want to tell anyone that, just in case I didn't do it, or I thought everyone would laugh at me. So I got these irons. I love TaylorMade as a brand. They were very much up and coming, I felt, at the time. I loved the technology, the aesthetics, all that kind of stuff. But realistically, I outgrew these clubs within 6 months. I went from 22 to 11, I think, in the space of 3 months. And then I had AP2s. So I was essentially the person that I try and warn about when I have this channel. And YouTube wasn't a thing. Secondhand clubs wasn't a thing. Facebook wasn't a thing. You name it. I actually hit a green here. Actually a straight shot in the wind. I was really happy with this swing. And I'll give it a nice little celebration in a second as well. But I outgrew these clubs way too quickly. And when I was a club fitter, it was one of the biggest things. I always wanted to fit you good for the day, but also in a year. Do you know what I mean? Where's your swing going to be in a year? What are you working on? How long have you been playing this game? If you've only been playing it 6 months, a year, and you're having a lesson every month, you're not going to need regular flex steel cavity back irons if you're between the ages of 18 and 40. Do you know what I mean? You're going to gain a lot of club head speed. You're going to get better technique. You're going to want more control, because these are great irons, but they're just like the Rogue, do you know what I mean? Like XLs or massive big Berthas or the Ping G Max. Do you know what I mean? Out the rough, I kept flying greens from everywhere. Celebration again, because I hit a fade off the tee for the first time in 2022. But like this wedge shot here, 130 yards from the flag, I've hit like a 3/4 and it's sailed over the green. And this is the only thing. No one wants to give up forgiveness in golf clubs, but you have to. The reason people use blades is so out the rough, from the fairway, windy days, your yardages, your dispersion are just going to be that tighter. Now, you're going to get punished for bad shots. But as you get better at this game, you shouldn't really be missing the middle of the golf club. So that kind of aspect, you're kind of trading. More control, but less forgiveness. And looking back at it, these were, on the day, from the club fitting point of view, the best clubs. I mean, to be honest, I love the look of them, the design of them. They went a mile, potentially too far. But if I'd been probed more, if I was a club fitter nowadays, I probably would have gone away with the R7 or gone with something a bit sleeker, because my game was going to improve that much more. But trust me, the club fitter at the time probably looked at my swing and went, this guy's got no hope of getting down to single figures anytime soon. So these will be just fine. Thoroughly enjoyed hitting these clubs. Great to go down memory lane again. And where I was in terms of my mindset of the game, where I am now, and sometimes maybe I take that for granted, the knowledge I now have of all different makes and models of clubs. And for me, maybe it just seems easy. I'll go, oh, if you want this, try this, or if you want that. But when you start this game, it can be so confusing. There's so many different brands, models, shafts, heads, you name it. So maybe I've got to take that less for granted in the future. Guys, thank you ever so much for watching this video. I'm off home now to go and watch the Masters. If you like this video, please leave a like. Subscribe if you are new. Catch you guys there.